How's it going, Kingston? Welcome back to the battlefield. Today we have a 4v4 on a Flanders 5B, which is, well, a map I do not see super often, so, I'm excited. I'm excited to check out a new map and some exciting armies, some exciting, really close battle here today. So, I mean, each player, man, my jaw almost dropped when I saw how close the kills were. I was like, well, I have no idea who's going to actually win this. Of course, very interested to see. But of course, let's go over the armies first before this battle actually goes off so that we can know the points. So on the coalition side, you have a 9-point HRE. Seeing a lot of HRE recently. 9-point Ottoman, a 9-point UK, Netherlands, and then a 9-point Russia. Now on the other side, we have a 8-point France, Egypt. They are going to be with a 9-point France, Flanders, a 10-point France, Österreich, and I believe this is a France, Italy. It actually doesn't say on the results what it is, but it looks like a France, Italy, so I'm going to go with that. Unless I get corrected in the comments, in which case, I'm pretty sure this is the France, Italy. This one right here. Wait, no, it's not that one. There it is. I think that's France, Italy. What is that, Napoleon, or Joseph Bonaparte, or whatever? Either way, oh man, the Ottomans have some mortars already crashing in here. Let's see where those guys are coming from. You can see the Ottomans actually have some guerrilla deployment they made early on. So they have stakes, they have mines, they are going to defend this town center with their life. Now, usually this map is a defense of the town, where the French kind of spawn in a semicircle around this area, and the coalition kind of spawn all in this area. Instead, the coalition obviously spawn on one side, rushing into the town to help defend. Man, I have not seen this map in so long. I have some good memories of some crazy battles on here. But yeah, so we have the coalition, the HRE, taking the right flank here, using the trees to hide their cav. And they have some infantry as well. They have artillery pushing up, using this road to quickly get up to their ally, like I said, the Ottomans, and the UK, which actually I kind of like this. The UK aren't doing a traditional UK army. They actually are using a lot of the Netherlands troops here. Always fun to see them, and actually they're some pretty cool, Dutch troops that you can bring as this UK. Not only that, but wait, is that a horse artillery? Looks like some horse artillery getting chased by some cavalry. I don't think they're gonna catch them. These sappers have always been really cool, though, I think. Oh, look at that. The mortars going in. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's gonna be tons of fun, I'm sure, for the Imperials trying to deal with that. But you can see here the HRE have cav all along this side. Like, wow, so much cav kind of watching to make sure the French trying to go for the flank. They want, guys, the coalition definitely want the French to go straight into this village. That'll be perfect for them. We actually have some Ottomans trying to chase down some cavalry. Does not catch them, so they're going to fall back. They just basically don't want the French to have an opportunity to scout. Now, look at these screens that the coalition have. They have UK cavalry all along this whole side, and then of course, like I said, the HRE all the way across to here. Oh, looks like the French actually may catch that horse artillery. Yep, they caught it, unfortunately. I'm assuming that was the 8 gold artillery the Russians can bring. So, not a crazy bad loss, but still, still could have been used better, but that's okay. So yeah, but like I was saying, the French definitely, they have a disadvantage in that the coalition can see every move they make right now. I do not see a lot of French cavalry anywhere, actually. They do not have a excellent little screen here. Oh man, the howitzers. That's going to just become demoralizing. Now, it doesn't look like the French are not actually pushing right now. You see they have stakes. I'm assuming they're going to put artillery to defend. They have stakes at several places. I mean, oh, they have stakes going the wrong way. But usually the Egypt, which that huge chunky unit is from Egypt. But Egypt has a lot of sappers they can bring for dirt cheap, and they can all deploy stakes. So that's, something that Egypt's probably going to use, or France, Egypt's going to use very well. But you can see the cav screening still going on. The coalition have a huge advantage right now just because they like I was saying before, can see everything the French are doing for the most part. If they're going to push in one direction or another, they're going to know about it. And the Imperials have no idea for real where the whole coalition army is. They have no idea if there's a huge cluster on the flank, if they're consolidated in the center, if they're moving on the right flank. Who knows? Who knows? Obviously, this infantry is sighted, so there is definitely HRE presence in the center and on the flank. They obviously, the French will know that there is, you know, UK on this side, and this Ottoman army has some of their stuff spotted. This artillery in a beautiful place, just firing directly in at the French advance. Oh man, this artillery is just... It's not killing tons and tons of men, but it is getting some annoying hits, I'm sure, for the French. And already you can see the artillery just blasting away at this French advance. This is not going to be a fun time for the French for now. Until they actually get troops, artillery in position, this is going to be a bit of a hell for them. Now, we are starting to see a lot of movement here. In fact, we even have a cav clash. Ulanen taking on some hussars from France, breaking those Ulanen, but France is going to have to take on now a hussar. And they're going to break that French light cav. More French cav, like I said, though, pushing over to this side, which is going to cause more of the coalition to shift cavalry over here. They do not want French cav getting on the flank. The same looks like over here where we have French infantry even advancing, so potentially a French army going on the left side here, the right side of the HRE, and that means the HRE are going to have to react to that, which you can see already shifting troops over to defend that right side. Like I said, he can use this tree line potentially to defend his flank, but that is a huge advance. That is definitely an entire French army that is rolling this direction. Some voltigeurs, you have some chasseurs. Okay, so a lot of Imperial infantry, Imperial Guard, I should say, infantry. So this definitely looks like they brought a guard build, potentially, at least part of it. Ooh, so they got some of the Swiss. Oh yeah, Swiss. Pushing this side as well. The French, I don't see the French pushing in the center anymore. That is probably a very wise call. That would be death. So they probably are going to start pushing away. If then we have artillery guys, the best thing to do is just go around it. You know, go to the right side, go to the left side, which they're going to the left side. Don't go straight into artillery. And you don't have to even stand there either. Some people will just stand there and take artillery shots without being able to do anything to it. I mean, they still are taking some shots because you gotta have... Ooh, those poor sappers. Like, if you're not gonna advance, pull back your troops a little bit. Use hills, use terrain to kind of stop yourself from getting killed by artillery. So we definitely still have this pretty dramatic advance on the left side. With the HRE definitely entirely reacting. They still have to wait for the rest of the Ottomans and Russia 9 to get up. And I'm surprised that the Imperials didn't try to do an attack while the coalition were at half strength with only half their troops. Oh, we actually have a cav engagement here. HRE taking on the Chasseur Cheval and unfortunately breaking there. So France is starting to take over a little bit of the cav advantage on the flanks. And it's got to be nice to have the Ottomans be able to just, you know, throw a massive mortar fire from, where is it? Where's that mortar firing from? Here it is. Yeah, so these mortars being able to just plaster a massive area that the French are in. I mean, the French were very concentrated at first. Probably not as much now. I mean, like I said, we probably have a French army going along. Looks like there's a general over here, so we have a French army maybe pushing the left side. One in the center. And maybe 2 armies here, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe is what I'm thinking. Or it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not totally sure. It's kind of hard to tell, obviously. That's one thing the French have advantage-wise, is it's harder to tell which army's which. The French are still kind of just pushing forward here. They have skirmishers trying to set up a bit of a screen here. Cavalry kind of defending. I'm not sure if there was a fake charge or a feint charge by the coalition, but they definitely have some cavalry or camel presence, I should say, in this side. But a lot of skirmishers pushing forward here. The HRE, like I said, definitely trying to set up a defensive line. Man, this mortar thing, though, is definitely setting up a lag. Like, it looks so laggy. And the rest of the battle is running smoothly. This is just laggy. Had to be very miserable in the battle if it was lagging in a replay. You can imagine what the actual battle may have been like. This is a very solid line, guys. I mean, oh my gosh, that is so much Imperial Guard. So much. They're going to want to focus down this line for sure. If they have artillery, even mortar fire that can hit this line, I would be doing it. And the HRE, you can see, they are getting spread out a little bit more. Russia's almost here, so then the HRE could probably start shifting all their forces to this left side and let Russia and the Ottomans take up the center, which, with artillery support, they should be fine. I'd even consider moving my artillery over to this side. Like, move back on the road, then stick it back here and fire. That way, if you have to fall back at all, you have artillery that can defend. Or even mobilize artillery right here, so that if you have to fall back, you have artillery that can shoot, covering your retreat if they advance here. I'd maybe consider that. Although, actually, technically, even from here, they can shoot this way. You know, if the lines withdraw. However, HRE do have a nice position in the forest. Like, this is a very defensible position. For those who don't know, forests do provide some kind of, you know, hit bonus, or I guess decreased hit box, just because the trees can soak up. Oh no, some friendly fire. Ooh, that mortar fire is getting real close, dangerously close to hitting HRE troops. And let's see in the center, just a ton of skirmishers. We have what's like that little lag thing. Sometimes troops just start firing. That's kind of annoying. Just a lot of, you know, these guys can soak up a lot of damage here. More French now making their appearance on the right flank. Potentially this is two armies over here, maybe just one. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Sometimes the French just get, or sometimes either side can get this weird lag where their troops just fire at nothing. But you can see that's exactly what they're doing. They're probably have to hold fire for them. That's annoying for the French, though. Here we go, a French advance. This is for real here, guys. We have the French pushing forward. Oh, they're going straight at the HRE. HRE gonna hopefully use some cav support. They got some heavy cav over here, some crossyears, dragoons, 2 crossyears, so this actually can work quite well for them. Obviously, though, they're gonna pull back a little bit here. They don't want to take on Imperial Guard. Plus, a very serious attack maybe massing up here with a lot of infantry stacking up on the road. Maybe they're going to go straight at the HRE, which then, of course, is why Russia is going to be reinforcing that side. Look at all the troops they have ready to push into any weak points in the line. Oh, the mortars just raining down fire on this huge, massive line. Here we go. We got even more French troops. Yep, it looks like a France, Italy pushing forward as well. So this attack on the left side is looking pretty serious. The HRE definitely are going to need Russia's support, even maybe the UK here, because the French aren't really attacking here. The French definitely don't seem to be really pushing. It's more of a distraction at this point. This seems to be where the consolidation is happening for the Imperials. Now, you can see the coalition is pushing a lot of cavalry onto the flank here, which actually may make things a little more difficult here for the French. Alright, we're back. Sorry guys, I had to take a phone call, so I may have just lost my train of thought. We'll see. But like I was saying, there's the cav hovering on the flank. That is not going to bode well for the French. But we do have a bit of a French formation here. So we have the French pushing a lot towards the HRE. That's not going to be a fun time for the HRE, but thankfully with Russia making them pushes to this right flank, you know, this could be very, very well for the coalition. Honestly, though, it's still hidden, so it's, you know, the French don't really know what's going to hit them yet. They see cavalry, though, and once they see this, if I was France, I would run away from this immediately. HRE backed by Russia is going to be a bit of hell on earth. Now, the French are still pushing around a massive flank here. There is a bit of, you know, action now in the center. Not a crazy amount, but, you know, definitely this right side heating up quite a bit. Look at all the HRE pouring in that fire. Ooh, some Russian skirmishers now making their appearance. HRE readjusting their lines. This may be a spot that France could hit. I'd assume that this whole side right here doesn't form square. I'd get my cavalry if I had heavy dragoons or something. They go bam right into that. Especially with that angle. You know, I mean, there's nothing really. They can see this area right here. The Imperials can. And there's nothing really there. That'd be a good spot to strike, especially with, oh my gosh, all this cavalry shifting over to the right side. Man, if I was France, I'd be running away. You can start to, you can definitely see all this. Not this line. Not even that, but you can see this. You can see this. You can see all of this deadly Russian infantry pushing up, ready to end your career. France is reforming just a little bit. We even have some cavalry maybe testing a square check. That's what that is. And they're going to pull back their crosshaires now. But, man, even Russia's pushing up here. France needs to run away if they want to live. Don't ever be afraid, guys, especially when you see the enemy massing up like that. Don't be afraid to pull all the way back. And even tell your allies, we got to pull back. The HRE have Russia with them now. Now, of course, with this push, we have now France making their own push here on the other flank. Got some Saxon troops. Looks like maybe some Bavarians. But they may make a push into the town. We'll see if that happens. I'm not expecting a whole lot of a push here in the center at this moment. Now, maybe France, Egypt will make a push here in coordination with this other France. But right now, it doesn't look like they're doing a whole lot. This France just reforming. They have such a weak left flank. I mean, I want to see this happen. But I also feel bad for France. I don't want this to happen to them. But if it must happen, it must. It's how you learn. Those howitzers are really hitting hard in the center here. They're softening this area up. This may actually be a spot that France attacks. I mean, you see Egypt sitting there with so many troops. They may try pushing into the town. That's a potential. France still holding this tree line. They have a lot of good quality units here. Oh, he had some Chasseur Cheval charge the Russian skirmishers. They got shot in the face. That did not work out well for them. And now Russia's going to shift even more and more forces over. This is going to spell death for France. But let's see how France decides to move about this. Russia has grenadiers. They have at least 4 grenadiers. Oh no. Plus at least 4 to 5 musketeers. And then more musketeers pushing up. They also have HRE cavalry and Russian dragoons. And I don't see any French cav defending this right side. This is going to go well. I think definitely Russia getting ready for that. Oh, we have some sappers charging in to the LOC. Ooh. Oh. That mortar got triggered. So one got triggered. We have some cavalry trying to stop them from triggering yet another mortar. Oh, these sappers are going straight for the next mortar. Ooh, the friendly fire. The friendly fire, guys. Oh my gosh. That is gonna... Oh, wow. You can see the redlining here already. Oh, let's not miss this, though. Yep, we have the infantry advancing. France still has a little bit of time to run away. These guys are fast. May lose 1 or 2, but they can still run away. Still, just do it. Run away, please. Now you just gotta charge across the bonus of the road. Make this move very quickly. And you can go right into some elite French units and take them out of action so early on here. There we go. This square forming, another square forming. that is just what Russia needs. Some squares that can't really shoot them in the face. And now some grenadiers with some musketeers are going to push forward, and they're going to start bayonet charging here. Ooh, that's a... I gotta go from this side. It's not rendering. There we go. Grenadiers going straight into the French line. This is the beginning of the end for this French army. Or the beginning of the end. Now cavalry can start coordinating, going in and hitting them in the rear. We got some cavalry, though, that is pushing up. So, you know, they have a little bit of defense. They're going to form yet another square. This is where this whole line needs to pull back. But you can see France starting to break already. Maybe some French reinforcements will push over. Yep, we have France, Italy pushing up some dragoons. Let's make sure we're not missing anything here. Some dragoons going to get charged as France is going to try to save their ally. France, Italy trying to save their ally. Maybe pull the rest of the lines back here. But HRE and Russia pushing forward. They should use this road and move along it. Then try to bayonet charge this French army as they retreat. France, Italy pulling back their dragoons. Infantry now making their appearance. So maybe France, Italy is mobilizing to now defend this side. But still, with so much cavalry, this can be a bit of a bullying match for France. They're just going to get hit really hard by a lot of enemy cavalry. Does look like France is making their attack here, being met by the Ottomans and UK. More of France, Egypt, though, pushing into the town, so they may actually make a move here. I'm very curious. I have to keep my eye out for that, but I mean, we have this huge fight here. Russia still trying to put the pressure on. Even Russia sending up some dragoons here. HRE sending up their cuirassiers. Ooh, a nice flanking volley by that elite guard. But France, Italy is here. And we do have some more sappers making a charge here. Oh. Is this mine triggering? Oh, it did. Oh, no more friendly fire. Oh my gosh. Those mines are actually working the opposite of what I think the Ottomans wanted them to. You can see it's causing a lot of friendly fire, a lot of friendly losses. Over on this side, we still have actually a bit of a stand here. We have reserves now from France, Italy, trying to make their stand, covering this left side. Hopefully they have some squares to kind of counter all this cavalry. I mean, how much is this? This is like 7 units of cavalry, and it's all dragoons or cuirassiers. The Russians now going to keep pushing here. The center still HRE pinning down the French, not letting them move up. We have some French cav now pushing in. Maybe going to go for an artillery piece. Oh, they got some nice volleys off with our artillery on the French cavalry. They're going to break them, but I mean, they still break one of their artillery pieces. France actually is pushing in here a little bit, going for the LOC, pushing in on the UK and Ottomans. Egypt making their move. Now over here we do have HRE trying to go around the flank. We even have the dragoons of Russia pushing up here. And Russia pushing in some grenadiers. Gonna start trying to focus down this line. The cavalry still going around trying to pin down some of the France-Italy, trying to maybe cause France-Italy to have to work on multiple fronts here. But here we go, that bayonet charge going against some chasseurs. And now the dragoons smacking into 4 lines of France-Italy units. Now, this is maybe a little too much for a French or a Russian dragoon to actually deal with. I don't think it's actually going to go well for Russia. And they are fighting some elite units. You can see huge amount of reserves. Russia may take some initial victories here, but I think they're actually going to start breaking with so much concentration from France.
Our men are running.
Over here, wow. France, Egypt making some gains, taking another artillery piece, running in and actually starting to break some of the HRE, even getting into melee over here with the Ottomans. Now over here, they're kind of maybe going to need to pull back. They're taking some heavy losses against the UK, but starting to make some headway in this town, even separating the HRE. And you can see here, yep, Russia took some heavy losses there. So much mass that they were going up against. It just did not work out well for them. Over here, Russia still engaging with France, Italy. Making some initial wins here. More cavalry even. Engaging more France, Italy. And ooh, I do believe, yep, France, Italy just lost their general to a mortar shot, and that's not going to go well for them. Now over here, you can see Russia actually taking some losses. They're sending dragoons trying to break more of France, Italy. Oh man, there's so much happening all at once. Oh my gosh. France, Egypt going in with even more infantry, Ottomans and some Egyptians fighting each other, with Ottomans starting to take some losses. But they're going to send in some cavalry to try to break up any advance that France, Egypt makes. Those stakes taking out some of the cavalry from France as they try to push in. Oh, wait, shoot. Oh yeah, that was the Ottomans general that I think died right there. Yep. The Ottomans lost their general too, so now France has a bit of an advantage here. Russia starting to really push forward here, starting to catch France, Italy out. But France, Italy actually being able to reform to meet this Russian advance, but we have a lot of cavalry now trying to pressure the left side. Nice square getting formed. Those dragoons not going to make any headway. Russia's really trying, guys. They are really trying to focus down France, Italy, but it's not going too well. Now they are starting to make some headway, it looks like, but not really working amazingly well in their favor at the moment. Looks like over here we still just have France duking it out with UK and Ottomans. Ottomans have pulled back to make some distance after taking some losses initially in the first part of that town fight. France still holding this line. And actually, France, Italy seems to be making some wins here, repelling some of the Russians. And if they can, oh, he doesn't have a general. I was about to say he can pop a rally, but he doesn't even have a general to kind of inspire his troops. But you can see Russia took some losses there, unable to even make a push here. No infantry to kind of focus down these squares. This cav's almost useless. But France, Italy is definitely starting to take some losses in the center. They're probably going to have some troops break. Yeah, and if they only had their general. Now, if they got the Allied general over here to pop a rally, they probably would do okay. But now the Ottomans are in a bit of a predicament having no general. Their morale is going to be hurt. Looks like France, Italy is pulling back. He does still have some reserve lines here, but Russia's going to go in once again against this Imperial line. And man, they are not getting a break. It's just constant motion. Even in the center, what? We have a Dragoon charge against France, Italy. Man, France, Italy's in several places at once. Now it looks like France, Egypt is charging in to try to defend this side, so they have a place to maybe even retreat to. And you can see squares got formed, so these cuirassiers not able to make a whole lot of headway, and the rest of France, Italy is pulling back. Now this cav may try to harass this French line to keep them in place. Oh, we have another charge here. France going in on the town using a coordinated cavalry. Oh, some heavy French cav charging in. Well, this heavy cav actually is hitting a lot of infantry as well, so it's going to be a little tough. They have a lot of cavs, so they definitely could be being a little more aggressive here. It looks like they're actually going to pull back a little bit. That attack not going too well. France has made a bit of a retreat here, but Russia's trying to run them down. A lot of cavalry still trying to... I mean, these squares from France are well placed. There we go, more Russian dragoons. This is so much cav, guys. France has so much cavalry. Or not France, sorry. Man, I'm getting my faction's totally screwed up. The French don't have a lot of cav to counteract how much cav the coalition have. That is just going to be very difficult for the French to come back from, considering how much HRE and Russian cavalry is left in this flank. Over here, France has plenty of cavalry. They just haven't really utilized it too well. But I believe they can maybe make some gains here, maybe take this town. That's what they're going to have to do, because over here the coalition are winning. Now the coalition have taken some losses. They're not without their fair share of losses too. But I think the French are definitely more bloodied. They have taken way more losses. Some of these units are depleted, probably tired. And they're going to start falling back. I mean, they could potentially come back over here to where their artillery's at and have their artillery help them maybe fight against this coalition. It does look like there's a lot of Russians left. Yeah, Russia has taken really heavy losses with their infantry. And France has paid in blood every advance they've made into this town. And they definitely are not at all out of this fight yet. They are still fighting for it. But France in total retreat on this left side. Of course, they got to make sure they're not going to leave their ally totally exposed to a flanking attack by the HRE. But, I mean, this is definitely a wise decision by France. They're pulling back. There's some stakes they can use for defense. They can kind of get away from the much slower moving Russians and HRE. You see L2s, L1s even, I think. Maybe some L3s mixed in there. But yeah, the coalition are very slow moving on this side. And they honestly don't need to push too much. This fight seems to be going decently well for the coalition. We just have some cavalry charging in here, starting to break some of these cheaper French lines. Oh wow, the Ottomans are going full on. They're sending it, guys. They're going right for the French. For some Saxon troops. Oh, what happened? Why are they mass routing? Actually, both sides seem to be mass routing, but wow, I was expecting a little more decisive action here from the Ottomans, them to be winning. France looks like they actually are going for this LOC once again. Sending in some grenadiers. Oh, this turned into a whole confusing mess, of which France seems to be definitely losing now. Looks like they're putting in more and more troops now to this left flank. Oh! Some sappers getting thrown in the mix. Those guys will definitely help out here. The howitzers, though, not helping the situation. This side is definitely, the French have pulled back. They even have artillery. That's gonna, yep. So they have artillery that's pushing over here. See, this is what I do as France right now. I'd probably tell everybody, guys, we gotta maybe, I guess, continue this fight. Maybe not. Put our artillery right here and start attacking again on the coalition side. They are running low, though. The French are definitely running low on troops. And advantage that the coalition have is become even more and more apparent here. More Ottoman lancers charging in here. They're going to start going for the flank of the French. If I was the UK, I'd be harassing with using this hussars to harass the lines a little more, like even getting real close, starting to charge in on the rear. You can break this whole French army. Now the coalition did lose this LOC finally, but still, I mean, the coalition hold the majority of the town still. I would not be too worried unless the French totally focus everything over here and shift, like France, Italy shifts over to this side as well. Maybe they can take this town and then hold it. I mean, they have 20 minutes to make a real hold, and then they can win by LOC technically, but I mean, the coalition have a lot of troops that are rolling over here as well. I'm thinking this is going to be an Imperial loss. That's what I'm thinking. The coalition have a strong foothold here. But we'll see. Those howitzers definitely are making it hell on earth for the coalition, that's for sure. I love using howitzers, most people don't, but I do. They can do so much. They can fire from pretty far away and do a lot of damage, especially to buildings. The morale damage even that they can do. Or if they hit in the middle of a massive amount of infantry, they can kill quite a bit. And they look so cool. But yeah, it looks like the French are falling back, guys. So, you know, they don't have a lot of other options left at this point besides... Shoot, I don't know. I don't know what the French have left. It's kind of a losing battle at this point. They can make an attack, but the coalition, unless the coalition take too long to get all the troops localized in one area, the French could try to break through in one small area. I'd say the UK is the one to try to take out. Using whatever cavalry you have left. The UK usually can form good squares, but you see these dark uniforms, usually they cannot form a lot of squares. If I'm not mistaken, yeah. The light infantry will. But most of their lines won't. Oh, we have another charge going in. And the UK are making a counterattack. They retook it too. So, and here we go. We got those hussars shifting around, attack the rear here. I think this is where the coalition can really start putting a lot of pressure on the French without taking a whole lot of heavy losses here. There we go, we got some more cav charging in here, sort of smacking into a French line as they were retreating, so they weren't able to turn around. And then we have some hammer and anvil happening here, so cavalry charging in against the Russian, or some Saxon, I think, chevaliers, and then more hussars charging in on the rear of this French line. This is going to be just a morale of death for the French.
Our men are running.
Coalition cav everywhere. And that is why cav is actually important. Now, I don't play. If you ever see me play, there's rest of France, Italy. If you've ever seen me play, you'll notice I usually don't bring a lot of cavalry. I really don't. And I've started to when I do play, which, man, it's been so long since I've actually played a game. But you see, when I do play, I try to bring a little more cav. I used to just bring, like, 2, maybe 3. Now I try to bring 3, 4 at least. In some factions you can bring more. If you're playing Russia, you usually can get away with 3 to 4 cavalry. Like even 3, like 2 dragoons and a light cav. Or more, something I prefer to do now is a light cav, a lancer, and a heavy, and maybe a dragoon, and then infantry obviously. As the HRE, you can bring a good amount of good cav. Austria definitely has some really good, especially light cav. Here we go though, guys. Here is the last defense here for France. And I'm expecting that the coalition are going to advance in force here, just to kind of finish up what remains of this French army. Well played, I'd say, by the French. They did what they could. I'd be curious to see what their builds were, but I am guessing... Oh, man, these mortars actually seem to have gotten quite a few kills. If I were to guess, though, I'd say the coalition, or the Imperials, brought less than 8, maybe they brought 9 cav total for all 4 armies. If that. It's probably less than that, being totally honest here. Alright, well, we have some artillery, unfortunately, that are not going to really get a play that much before they get charged here. You see the HRE running between the stakes and just... Yeah, running them down. This is where the French would make a tactical retreat in all, like, realism. And the French, or the coalition, would claim victory here. Here we go. We got the Russian in HRE advance once more. They were successful in the last one, so they're going to push forward and make some real plays here. I think I'm going to have to stream today. Well, obviously, I will have streamed already when this video comes out, but I need to do some NTW3 again. Man, it's been way too long. It's been way, way too long. Just fast forward just a little bit and see. The French probably are just going to... I'm assuming they're not going to keep retreating. I mean, they're just going to lose if they keep retreating. And the mortar fire is just hell. Gosh. France would actually do better to just do an assault column down this road and go in on the HRE.
We have taken a building, sir.
Being totally honest here. Oh, they're actually going to go in against Russia. But Russia tries to seize the initiative and go in for a bayonet charge first. Now the HRE and Russia could push up here and try to support this fight. Oh, that's so many French units. So many flags in one spot. It's kind of beautiful though, you know? Oh, France is gonna try to carry on with Russia kind of breaking, but Russia is going for the flanking charge here. HRE push up with the UK. This is kind of the all or nothing for France, but with the mass route being triggered, guys, you're going to see friends routing everywhere. France is probably just going to start breaking just based on principle of their allies breaking as well. Still going down, swinging, and not just running away and trying to take forever, you know, doing a little bit of trolling, which some players will do. They'll just run away for the rest of the fight, never even...
We've taken a building, sir.
They won't try to end the game quickly. Now the Ottomans are going to crash in on both other sides. But, wow, that's a lot of French for I mean, that actually is quite beautiful. Not because the French are breaking, but just because, man, all the flashes and all the shadows, the smoke, it's just crazy. It looks kind of cool. Now the poor French demoralized, running away. Some brave French still trying to make a stand there. And you can see just through the smoke, you can see the shapes of a bunch of regiments advancing. And cavalry advancing. And they're going to go in for a bayonet charge, or a cav charge here on the French. And HRE cavalry in the back lines as well. More... square formed as well. Oh, and you can see on the right flank. Oh, it's crashed. Man, it's just... Yeah, there's one big square left. Desperate stand.
We have killed their general, sir. Now they must break.
Oh, brave square, just standing its ground. Well, for a second it was. I think that's basically the end here. I'm just gonna hit this fast forward button. But a coalition victory, guys. But hard fought, definitely. I mean, the French definitely took a chunk out of the Imperial, or out of the... Man, I get my factions so screwed up. The French took a chunk out of the coalition for sure. But definitely, I think the French just, unfortunately, I think a huge factor in why they lost was because they did not have enough cav. And maybe they had a lot of cav, but it was in the wrong place. I mean, the French over here had nothing to counter Russian and HRE cav. And that is actually crucial. You need anti-cav support, especially if the French, or if your enemy is rolling in to you with cav and infantry, and you don't have cavalry to stop their cav, because then your infantry are going to steal with their infantry, and it's not as hard. But still, a tough one. Now, this was sent in by Philippe, who's playing as the HRE. You can see, didn't even get 100 kills, so he didn't necessarily do a ton of damage, but he did pin down the French so that Russia could run in and basically go in for the kill. Now, here's the results here. Let me pull those up. So you have the UK with Menk with 1916 for the kills. He definitely got a lot of kills. Yeah, Philippe with 976 for the kills. British Emperor as Ottomans with 1347 for kills. Jorf as Russian 9 with 1334. On the other side, you have Dahl with 1141 as France Egypt. You have Sui, I'm assuming that's how you say that, with 905 for the kills as France Flanders. You have Pius with 636. And Travis playing as the France Italy with 810 for the kills. So good game, all sides. Definitely was enjoyable. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. But yeah, that'll be it for me today, guys. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you guys for the support. I'm happy to be making videos again. Really did miss this. Sometimes it's hard to find replays, but you know what? Every time it's always fun. Even if it's not necessarily a super close match, I enjoy watching these battles. So until next time, you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all in another video.